Hey guys, I'm Al from the Pizza Man. Thanks for joining us today. If you like the video, please subscribe. Today we're going to be making some original pizza dough that you can make pizzas with for your family and enjoy. It's so easy that even a child can make it. So I'm going to bring along Joe, who's my son, and he's going to show us how it's done.
Hello!
Alright, so a couple of things you need. Simple. Water, flour, sugar, salt, active dry yeast, and a little bit of olive oil at the end. So the first thing we need to do, and I'll give you the measurements for everything. This recipe calls for 1,000 grams of flour and 650 grams of water. So we're going to use a 65% ratio here. So the first thing we need to do is take the active dry yeast and put it into the water. I prefer that when you do it, you simply use tap water and then just give it a little stir in here. That's going to have to sit for a few minutes to activate the yeast. While that's activating in the other hot water, take a portion of the water, the 150 grams, and add the salt to that. Mix that around and let that dissolve a little bit. In the meantime, take your sugar that you have, and we're going to add the sugar to the flour. And then just toss it around lightly. Now, as I mentioned before, you've got 1,000 grams of flour, you got 650 grams of water. As far as the yeast goes, you'll use 7 grams of yeast to add to that. The salt content will be about 20 grams of salt, and then the sugar, we'll use about 12 to 14 grams of sugar to put into that. Once this all comes together, it should yield about 6 275 to 300 gram pizza doughs, which should yield you about a 12 to 14 inch pie. Then I'm going to add the flour and we'll get it mixed up, so I'll see you back here in a couple seconds. So it looks like the yeast is ready to go. I'm going to add the salt content to that, the rest of that water. In addition to that, we're just going to give it a quick little stir, and then we'll add the flour. So the yeast should have sat in there for about 3 to 5 minutes. And all you'll do, lock it in, put it on the lowest speed you have, let it mix for about 10 minutes, and then pull it out. I'll see you. So as this starts to finish up, you'll see it's a little bit doughy, obviously because it's the 65% water ratio, but it does well with high temperature cooking. Now, one thing I didn't mention to you guys was what type of flour I use on this, and I'm actually using an Antimo Caputo 00 grade flour. It's special pizza flour, so you should look that up and try to get some of that before you actually go and do this. It's pretty simple. As we're coming into the last few minutes of this, I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil and just pour a little bit around in there and get that mixed in. So that'll give it a little bit of a buttery flavor, I think, to that. And when this is done mixing up, we're going to transfer it over to some cellophane that I've got wrapped with some flour already, and then we'll let it rise for about 2 hours. So once this is done, after about 10 minutes of mixing, we'll put it over there, cover it with some flour, and cover it with some saran wrap, and let it rest for 2 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll make some dough balls out of it. Okay, so what I did is I transferred, it's done mixing, I transferred it over here to the saran wrap. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on top of it. And then it's going to sit for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. You just want it really to just double in size. So just coat that so that when you're pulling it off, the saran wrap doesn't stick to it. Like so. Keep it covered. And it may seem like a lot of work at first, but it's really a simple process to making dough. I was kind of apprehensive about it at first too, but after doing it a couple times, it's really quite simple, and it's a lot better than either going out and getting the dough and then making your own homemade pizza with it. So I would just recommend go out, buy some flour, try it out. The kids will love it. We're going to be making some pizza with this in a little bit, but I'm going to be back here in a little bit to get the dough balls made, and then we'll refrigerate those for a little bit. All right, it's been about 2 hours now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to push the dough down a little bit, and we're going to make some dough balls. They're going to be between 275 grams and approximately 300 grams. And it's real simple. Just lift the dough up a little bit and be gentle with it. You just want to grab a little bit off of there and pull a little bit. Make sure you got that scale on. I dusted it a little bit with some flour. And you just want to make your dough balls about, like I said, 275 grams to 300. So that'll work at 286. And when you're kneading the dough, it's just real easy. Just knead it a little bit. And like I said, the consistency will be a little sticky at first. And if you want, I'm probably going to dust my hands with some flour. And that's pretty much it. Get a little bit extra flour on there. Roll it around. And what you'll do is I'll finish making all the dough balls in here. Let it sit right there. And that's it. So what you'll do from this point here is after you've done kneading all your dough balls and they're all at the desired weight that you want, you put them in here in a little tray, cover it up and refrigerate it for about 2 hours. Sometimes you can refrigerate it overnight, up to 24 hours. So if you want to make your dough in advance, you can do that. I hope you guys found this useful and helpful for you. I hope you enjoy making your own pizza at some point. And if you found it helpful and useful to you, please like and subscribe. In the upcoming weeks, I'll put on some other authentic Italian stuff that you guys can make at home and make it simple and easy for you.